Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Effortless. I'm your host today, Piddle. With me is Dr. Spiegel,
Hey everybody, well,
and we've got some brand new news from Nintendo to talk about today.
the news is
And
so new, it's brand new.
brand new.
Might even call it brand news. Okay,
Oh,
I'm not gonna talk
oh
anymore for
my
the rest of the
gosh.
episode. This is a
Just
solo show.
we need to kick you off the show right now. You know what? From now on, the rest of today's episode is just the Piddle episode. Um so the Nintendo Direct was yesterday, and what did you think of it, Spiegel?
I don't know, I'm not on the episode anymore.
Well, I thought it was pretty boring.
Okay,
Pretty
so
boring for
so
me
a lot of
personally.
people a lot of people will echo that fact. And to those people, including you, I say, what did you really expect? Like, did you expect a lot of Zelda U news? I actually expected more than what we got, to be honest with you. But honestly, this is just Nintendo's last-ditch, way too late attempt to market some games that are coming out today on the 13th, next week on the 20th, and a Wii U game that is already going to do pretty well, which is Xenoblade Chronicles and Yokai Watch. There was a commercial for Yokai Watch in this thing, which is really weird. But
I actually don't think they really did enough about Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I mean, I want to see more. I always want to see more of that game because it's easily my most anticipated game. I said last year it was my most anticipated game of this year. Splatoon ended up being fantastic, but I still think I'm more excited for Xenoblade Chronicles than I was for Splatoon at the time. But anyway, I always want to see more Xenoblade.
I think see a big issue is a lot of what they released for the direct is it's already news that we know, or it's add-on content, or it's content that nobody's really biting at the champ to play
That's champing at the bit,
or
but
champ.
point well
Yeah,
taken.
yeah. I
Phraseology aside. No, but you're right. I mean, it's this Nintendo Direct sort of to me felt more like a holiday advertising tool than anything else. Like they didn't do this last year because the games marketed themselves, right? They had Smash Brothers last holiday. They had, Mario Kart was already a juggernaut. They didn't really have to worry about doing all this stuff, so they gave us Majora's Mask. I didn't look at last year's roundup for the direct they did in November, but they opened with Majora's Mask, a brand new game. And actually, they did the same thing this year too. Do you want to just go ahead and go down this little list that I have here of stuff they talked about in the direct?
Sure thing. There's plenty of it.
The first thing they announced was this is rumored forever, but it was the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Credit to mynintendonews.com for this list, by the way. I'm using it from them, but. They announced this game, and some of us were excited, myself included. They announced a Wolf Link amiibo that will be used in Zelda U, which we can talk about a little bit later. Launching on March 4th in a bundle with the amiibo, and it also will come with the soundtrack if you pre-order it. Now, what did you think when you first saw this footage? Because I tell you what I thought. I thought this game had not aged well. It did not look particularly great in HD. I thought it just looked like less blurry, but the
Yeah.
textures were still crap.
I'm not the greatest fan of the Twilight Princess art style.
Okay, that makes one of us because I am. I'm a big fan of it. I love it.
I actually like. I prefer the Wind Waker's art style,
Fair enough.
oddly enough, and I feel like
But who would have thought that Wind Waker would be the game that benefited from an HD treatment more so than Twilight Princess? That's just so strange to me because looking at Twilight Princess on Wii, if you're playing it on an HD TV, it's just blurry and ugly. But this also it doesn't look blurry, but it looks ugly.
they didn't really make the same changes that we saw with the Wind Waker HD. I mean, the Wind Waker HD, not only did they port over the cell shading, but they completely changed the lighting system, and I feel like that added so much more to the Wind Waker HD. They also, well, it was pretty much a remake, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is a remake, right?
I think it's more of just like an HD remaster, just uprising all the existing.
They haven't talked about what they're changing in the game. They clearly changed a lot of stuff in Wind Waker HD.
Yeah,
and
they did.
Just the presence of amiibo suggests there's going to have to be something that changes. So I don't know. We'll see.
But I would have at least liked to see for me, I would have liked to see a new lighting system, just like with the Wind Waker, because that is the one thing that was really added in the last generation that increased the atmosphere of pretty much every game. Is just the lighting is drastically improved over the PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox generation, and
For sure. And Twilight Princess, make no mistake, is a GameCube game.
yeah, it is a
So
GameCube game through and through. It came out on the GameCube, and it was identical to the Wii version, other than the Wii version was widescreen and had motion controls.
and mirrored image or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what you make of that, but I feel like just changing the lighting or going back through the game and adding some new lighting sources would have added so much to the game and made
I
it a
mean,
lot better. But
it's
that's me.
mind-boggling to like why they're not doing it, like why they're not making changes like that. They did it with Wind Waker, and they said Wind Waker was done in like 6 months. Now, granted, I will give it one thing, and this was pointed out to me by Todd just last night. He said something like, remember the first time we saw the Wind Waker, we weren't all happy with like the crazy bloom effect that was going on in some of these visuals, and
Yeah.
that was gone by the time the game came out. So they still have like 4 months like 3 months till the game goes gold to like work out these problems and fix the lighting. I mean, and we all know that's the thing Nintendo does last anyway when making a game, is work on the visuals and the stuff like dynamic lighting, text, like upresing textures. Did you see Star Fox yesterday in the direct? It looked a lot better than it did at E3.
Star Fox looked a lot better. I was actually mostly fine with how it looked anyway, because
So there's still time, basically, is what I'm saying.
yeah,
Not to drag it to another game, because we'll talk about Star Fox.
yeah, we got that coming up.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go pre-order Twilight Princess today. So I'm a sucker. I'm gonna buy it again. Honestly, Zelda games are like the one exception I'll make to hating HD remasters, because I love the originals so much. I just want to buy them again. And I know that makes me a sucker, but you know what? It's 10 years later. I think I can justify it now.
Yep. Still waiting for that Super Mario 64 remake.
Oh,
Nintendo.
no, they're never gonna do it. They're never gonna do it now.
They-
They're remaking
oh,
Twilight Princess.
man.
They're not making a lot of people were disappointed they didn't announce Super Mario Sunshine HD, and I was like, why? You want to play the most mediocre Mario game ever
Yeah.
in HD?
Super Mario Sunshine.
It's not bad. It's like whatever. It's just whatever.
Yeah, it's not really complete, and everybody's favorite part are like the half a dozen levels that you don't get the flood that play more like Super
Yeah, they play
Mario
more like
Galaxy
Mario
levels,
64
or
and Mario
or
Galaxy.
Mario 64 or whatnot. So right after that, they just sort of reminded us that
Yeah, Reggie reminded us that there is a Zelda game that's actually a new Zelda game.
that's coming out next year for the 30th anniversary.
They showed us a little clip, but it was like insulting.
They showed
I
nothing.
wanted to care about it, but I was
Really?
like, so what? I've already seen this.
What that clip sort of gave me was just like, hey guys, like don't get too set on the idea that Zelda U is going to be coming to the Nintendo NX. Like it's going to be a Wii U, so you should buy a Wii U. That's sort of what it told me.
Yes, and I actually wanted to talk about that a little bit, because the very fact that this game is going to have amiibo support means one of two things, and I want to bounce these off of you and see if you agree with me.
All right.
Is number one, the game is definitely going to be on Wii U in some capacity, or number two, the NX is going to be backwards compatible and it will use the gamepad and you can use amiibo that way. Or, I mean, there's a third option, but I feel like it's less likely. The NX is just going to have a way of supporting amiibo, and it's just going to be on NX. But I don't think that's going to happen at this point.
I think the NX is not going to have the gamepad, but I think what the NX will have is they've been talking about how there's a console/mobile version of the NX, and I think they're going to be two separate platforms, but with linking capabilities. And I think linking capabilities, you're going to be able to have backwards compatibility for Wii U. That's my current
I think that's
theory
correct.
of what the NX is going to
And I think
be.
Nintendo will start selling the gamepad at retail stores just like as a standalone accessory for the NX, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
think it's
anyway,
possible.
so that's I've said that. But so yeah, I'm glad to know I'm not crazy. I think it's a very realistic option. And then actually going back to Twilight Princess, I didn't mention I'm so excited to play the GameCube version because I've only played the Wii version with the motion controls. I
Oh
like the
my
motion
goodness.
controls,
Actually,
but they
that is one reason that I might very well end up getting it is because I never had the GameCube version. I only had the Wii version. And going back to those early Waggle days where it's just you're replacing a button press with a shake.
it was neat at the time, but it was like okay, like I'm kind of done with it now.
Yeah.
And it's so I mean we know the Wii control is probably not going to be compatible because you saw Link with his left hand using the sword in the trailer. So
You never know. It might come with both versions. Maybe you will be able to play with Wii controls. I don't know why you'd want
and
to.
I said back when we were debating whether this was real or ridiculous, I said I think it'd be a good option for them to like give you that those control schemes. I mean, why not? If it's available, it's available.
Because what are those control schemes worth?
Would it?
That is my issue with
Hold on.
it.
What if
It's
they
like,
gave you the option to do like Wii Motion Plus instead of just the waggle? You know, like the Skyward Sword control scheme.
I
That'd be
don't
actually
think
pretty
they could
cool.
because the Skyward Sword game was completely built it was built around the Wii remote, and there's no way that they could port. I don't think there's any way they could really port all that information to Twilight Princess HD.
It's
So
Nintendo. I think they can get it done. So,
they,
but we'll
I don't
see.
think they'll bother though.
We'll see.
It'll be too much work.
More Nintendo stuff. They announced a new Wii U bundle,
Yes.
which I already knew about if you looked at any of the leaked Black Friday ads for any of these companies. It's a Splatoon and Super Smash Brothers bundle. It's going to retail for $280. They didn't say that in the thing, but we all know that. That's a
Isn't
great
it-
bundle, guys.
It's 300, but it's 280 from Toys R Us. I think has a deal for 280.
I think I saw that Walmart has it too. I haven't seen all the retailers yet, but either way, even if it's 300, that's a great deal, people. If you don't have a Wii U yet, what are you waiting for? Like, holy crap, you need to buy
the one
that
thing
bundle.
with the Wii U is it comes like the bundles for the Wii U. Every bundle comes with fantastic games.
Right? It's like here's Mario Kart. Here's Super Mario 3D World.
There is no Wii U with
The Lego
bundled with
movie
a
game
with a horrible Assassin's Creed game in it,
or Uncharted Collection HD. Like you don't get that, man. You get real Nintendo games.
Yes, real like quality Nintendo games, and for them to be combining both Splatoon and Smash Brothers, like those are two fantastic multiplayer games.
Two of the best games on Wii U. Like it would only be better if it was like Mario Kart also.
Next, the Pokken tournament.
So yeah, they talked about Pokken Tournament. I don't know. I'm still probably not going to buy it. I don't like fighting games. I don't get into it.
I think Pokken tournament sort of fills a void, and that is just playing as Pokemon and fighting as Pokemon.
A void we never know we needed to be filled.
Yeah,
Right.
Not and not in a turn-based manner. So I think that's what Pokken sort of offers. So I think it's great that it exists. But for me personally, it doesn't really matter all that much.
I think more than anything, it's just going to appeal to the people who bought like Tekken Tag Tournament. There might be some crossover to Pokemon fans. Actually, I think there's going to be a good amount of crossover.
I think you'll
to
end up
Pokemon
with
fans.
it just because it comes with a limited edition amiibo.
No.
card.
I am out of the rat race. I'm out of the Amiibo rat race. I only get the Smash Brothers ones and the ones I want. I'm not getting the Animal Crossing ones today. Not doing it.
At this point, I'd just like to say, like, I feel like Nintendo with the Wii U and what they're offering is very. They're just offering Nintendo-like games. There's nothing really new and exciting, but it's like
They're just trying to appease their fan base at this
Pokken
point. Yeah.
Tournament is just like a very Nintendo fan-friendly game. Like
That's
this
just
is for
totally
Pokemon
fan
fans.
service.
Yeah, and again, like continuing, we have Star Fox Zero, which is pretty much the newest experience I think that they're offering, and a game that I feel like is flying under the radar.
Pun intended.
Exactly.
No, I kind of agree with you. I feel like the hype around this game has kind of died down since E3, and it's sort of just like there. I feel like
A
the
big
delay
thing is just I feel that the whole the graphics look horrible, and that just killed it for a lot of people, which I think is ridiculous because
And number one, they don't look horrible anymore if you watch the thing.
the game
There's
is
some
running
textures that still
60
need work,
frames per
but
second, and it's showing two different images on two different screens, and it still looks, has that sort of like Star Fox kind of vibe to it. So for me, it looks great.
I think it gets the job done for sure. I think there's some there's some textures that have something to be desired, and but again, it's Nintendo. They do that last, which is part of the problem with Nintendo when it comes to showing off their new games. But there you have it.
And it's
But
it's Platinum Games developed, right? So we know it's
yes,
going to be
yes,
great, right?
Platinum is great. I do not have this game pre-ordered. I'm still deciding on whether or not I'm actually going to get it. It really all depends on what Nintendo's plans for NX are, because I'm going to be dropping a lot of money in the next probably 12 months on systems. I'm probably going to buy 3 next-gen systems in the next 12 months. So
I can say I'm
we'll see.
definitely getting Star Fox Zero because it is going to be one of the few games that really tries to utilize the gamepad. It's Star Fox. I've been dying for new Star Fox. The
Nerds.
The point system is finally like Star Fox 64 again. It's not like Star Fox Assault really sort of changed things, and I don't think it changed things for the better. This feels just more like
Mobile game.
an evolution of Star Fox 64, which is, let's face it, one of the greatest on-rail shooters games you can play.
No question. Moving on, then they had, this says an incredible Splatoon update. Now, I love the way they continue to support this game. I love it. And you haven't even played it yet.
Nope.
They announced 2 new stages, Museum de Alfonsino. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And there was like a hotel stage too. It was like a resort type place. They both look incredibly interesting. Like again, unlike any Splatoon maps that are out so far. So I can't wait to play those. They're coming out tonight. At least the museum one is at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
I think it's great how they're just giving constant reasons to come back to Splatoon and Super Smash Brothers.
I'm not sure what that really does for them, except because it obviously doesn't create a revenue stream. It keeps people playing the games. I'm not sure what that does for Nintendo.
I think
it provides an argument.
fans, I mean, it continues to support the fans that they already have, rather than it's like a cliche now, just Wii's gathering dust.
They announced a Super Mario. This is a freaking joke. I hate this. The Super Mario Maker search function, quote unquote search function, which is not a search function. It's a website that you have to go on, and it's like, oh, I'm going to search for this type of stage, but it still doesn't it doesn't help you find good stages. It doesn't look like. I mean, I'll wait until I see it, but I'm just really disappointed that they still haven't figured out a way to help you find the stages that are actually good in this game.
I'm disappointed that it's separate from the game itself.
Yeah, it's like why did they have to do that? I have to go on my computer. I have to go on my smartphone. And they even said, and when you come home, you can find the stage that way because we can flag it for you. I'm like, that's great. I wish that was in the game so I didn't have to leave my house with my smartphone. I mean, I know that's not their point, but I don't want to do that.
So then there's Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
just gloss right over
Yeah.
that. It just sucked. It just sucked. That's all there is to it. And speaking of sucking,
I mean,
we have a couple
you can
games
say
here.
it's better than nothing, but it's not much better. So
I'd rather have nothing. I'm offended by this game's existence.
I'm talking more about the Mario Maker web portal, but Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, yes, I just don't even care. Don't even care.
Like I said last week, it looks pretty interesting. It might be pretty good. Like I was looking at the stuff, and then I found out that you had to have the amiibo in order to play the game. And I realize it comes with some amiibo, but
It's
you
retailing for $60.
You paywalled a $60 game behind amiibo. It's
a $60 game too. Like, if anything, this game should be it should be free. It should be
free to start. And then you buy the amiibos, and that's the paywall. And I'd be totally okay with that, and I might actually get it if that was the case. Because it does look interesting. Honestly, it looks like the best version of Mario Party since Mario Party 3. And I'm not joking. It does look pretty good. But I just don't have, another $150 to invest in this stuff. I don't. It's just ugh. It grosses me out to think about it.
So next we have Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
Another joke of a game that shouldn't exist.
You know what? I take insult to that.
Good for you. I don't care.
So when I talk about Nintendo sort of offering Nintendo-like games, that is what I feel like Mario Tennis is, and I'm a big fan of Mario Tennis personally. Ever since the original Mario Tennis on the Nintendo 64, there have been some lesser titles. I'm glad that Ultra Smash just includes sort of a no power up kind of mode because
Yes.
that can just get ridiculous. And I don't know. It's fun enough by itself. The mechanics are in place for it to be fun, just being a tennis game.
The problem is you can't really iterate on something like tennis without throwing in all these power-ups, but I'm not interested in playing tennis with power-ups. Baseball with power-ups, yes. Soccer with power-ups, sign me up. I'm interested in that kind of stuff because it makes those games more
Yeah.
interesting. But tennis is just so simple. When you start adding stuff, it just comes across as excessive. And I feel like they had the perfect game in Mario Tennis, and ever since then they've been trying to add something to something that didn't really need stuff added to it.
The Mario baseball game on the GameCube, by the way, was amazing.
I kind of liked it. I recently played it again with one of my friends, and we were just like not into it. It was kind of, I don't think it's aged well, unfortunately.
Such a shame.
So I'm pissed off about those two games existing instead of, a new Metroid, but it is what it is. It's not like those teams would have dropped everything and made a Metroid, so
I was
whatever.
glad that the Mario Tennis has like online support too.
Yeah,
So,
that's nice to see. I actually anticipated it wouldn't. So maybe one day, if I'm feeling like I have a lot of money, I'll buy it and then we can play online. But only if it's like pre-owned and I can save a bunch of money on it. Because I'm not spending $50 on this game. I'm not. Sorry.
I think the big Wii U showing is still the game that you're looking forward to the most, and that's
Yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. And the
Xenoblade
big thing
Chronicles
that
X
really
looks great.
it made me sad is I sort of wish that they had spent more time on it because I worry that it's just gonna fly completely under the radar again, just like the last one in the series.
I'm not worried about that as much. If you look at the pre-order numbers, this game had more pre-orders than probably any Nintendo game since Mario Maker or Splatoon. Like, this game is on the same level as those games in terms of the hardcore gamers that own a Wii U that they want a big JRPG. Is this the first like real JRPG the Wii U has?
I think so.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be very popular. And Xenoblade Chronicles is like such a recognizable name in the JRPG community by this point that I don't think there's any way this game doesn't do well. I think it could sell almost 1 million. I wouldn't be surprised. I think they're gonna do really well.
We can hope.
Yep. They also mentioned that there's 4 high-speed data loading packs available to like increase the load times. Have you looked at the size of these things? It's like 13 gigabytes. It's like freaking Xbox One level of downloadable content.
I don't think you understand how big Xbox One downloads actually are.
Okay, I mean that's fine. That's fair, but it's still a lot. I mean, your Wii U is like 32 gigabytes, right? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to buy an external hard drive. I need to do that anyway because it's a long term investment for me, honestly. But still, I'm gonna have to buy one sooner rather than later.
I'm just gonna throw it out there though that this is optional.
Yeah, but it's
Like,
not though because you know what optional means. It means if you don't get it, it's gonna be crazy loading times. This
Yes,
world
but again, you can just. Here's the thing. Here's what's different about it. You can still just take the disc out, put it in your system, and start playing.
yes. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
So, unlike some other
Unlike some other consoles.
consoles, which you know what? I'll just name them: Xbox One, PlayStation 4. You suck.
Oh, I
at
didn't
it.
know which ones you were talking about. But the thing that I found most compelling about this is that there was a thing that came out the other day that said that Xenoblade Chronicles X's world is bigger than The Witcher. It's bigger than Skyrim, and it's bigger than I think they said Fallout 4, altogether combined. And I'm like, whoa, like what?
That actually makes me worry that it's going to be a little too big.
I've been concerned about that, but we know they have fast travel. Your characters run at like super speed. I mean, I'm not super concerned about the game feeling empty because every time I look at screenshots of the game, you have this big, vast landscape to like look at, and there's like all these things like going around, and I don't really know how they could make
one
this
thing
work.
that really makes a difference is the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles X run crazy fast.
Yeah, like faster than any human being ever, even Usain Bolt. They're faster than Usain Bolt.
by like twice as much.
Yeah.
It's the
So,
future.
yeah. So moving on. Oh, speaking of the future, they are finally doing the thing that I've been predicting forever, and as soon as I stopped predicting it, they announced it, basically. And that is that Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow are all coming to the Nintendo eShop on February 27th, the same day that Green and Blue released in Japan in 1996. So the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, we're getting them in the United States on the eShop.
Fantastic.
I love it. This is great. I haven't played Pokemon Yellow in 15 years. I cannot wait to go back.
Pokemon Yellow is such crap.
No, it's not. It was good. I enjoyed it.
No, it is. It's not good.
You were wrong.
Not good.
Why is it not good?
It's the same. It's the same game, just with
Yeah, but guess what? It's going to be the
with
same price.
Jesse and James and
Hey, some people liked the anime, you jerk. And a little
Yeah.
Pikachu follows you around, and it's in color.
yeah,
So, deal with it.
yeah.
Uh,
So anyway,
just real quick before we continue on, I'd just like to point out that the frickin' 3DS in the first half of next year, it's loaded, man. There's so many games coming out for 3DS next year. No
Really?
Wii U games again. Look, I'm just gonna run through it. If you include the Pokemon games, you have Hyrule Warriors Legends, Mario and Luigi, Fire Emblem Fates. There's let's see, and then the first Dragon Quest game, Dragon Quest 7: Fragments of the Forgotten Past. That's coming out in the first half of 2016.
and Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King.
But that's later. But my point being, there's like 6 games right there in the first half that are like major games for Nintendo on 3DS. And what do we get for Wii U? We don't know. We don't know. I don't think there's any game that we know is coming out early next year for Wii U, right?
Star Fox
Is there?
Zero.
That's it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So anyway.
But it's something.
So yeah.
Well, you have
I mean,
Twilight Princess HD.
yeah, I guess. Did you play the original Hyrule Warriors?
I have not played the original Hyrule Warriors.
Are you
but,
gonna get this one?
Can't they just release Linkle for the Hyrule Warriors U?
No,
Because
they can't.
that is
They
like
want more
the
money.
most exciting news about Hyrule Warriors Legends is Linkle, the female version of Link.
They couldn't have thought of a better name than that. Linkle? Are you kidding me? It sounds like Tinkle.
I love
Which is
it.
just funny.
I love it. I love the design. I want her in a Zelda game now.
I want her now. Period.
So you know what? Maybe she'll be in Twilight Princess.
I was hoping, yeah, you get the female option in that game.
That would be really cool.
And you get the male version of Ilya, which I don't want that. Never mind.
No.
No, she can still be female, actually. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
Wink,
I would rather
wink,
have
wink.
that, honestly.
I'm not buying this game. That's fine.
No Hyrule Warriors Legends.
No, I got enough on Wii U.
Yeah, you
I'm
already
fine with
have it. I think for people who don't have a Wii U, it's
Oh yeah, no.
It's
If you don't have a Wii U, number one, there's a bundle. Go buy it. Number two, this is undoubtedly. I'm not going to say it's going to be a better experience because I don't even understand how they're going to run this game on 3DS. I really don't. They can barely run it on Wii U, and now they're adding more stuff to it. So I don't know. But if they down res everything, maybe they can make it
pretty
work.
much did. It looks very, very basic in terms of visuals.
And that's fine. I mean, because you don't need that game to look fantastic for what it is. Honestly, I think the Warriors format might work better on 3DS because you want to play it in short bursts. Because the battles are, it's just a hack and slash, right? So, like, if you're running out of stuff to play on your 3DS, if you never played Hyrule Warriors, this is definitely going to be the version to get, probably, because it's cheaper. It comes with more content. I mean, So, I don't know. I could probably recommend it just on that.
Anyway, they also showed a little bit of Mario and Luigi Paper Jam.
What do you think?
I think it's just more of the same. It's just more Nintendo games.
I like the Mario and Luigi series, and I love a couple Paper Mario games. So I mean, I don't know.
I think actually, talking about all this, it's all these games that they're coming out with, and it's games that we've really all experienced before. And I think it just sort of goes to show that Nintendo is in desperate need of some more new IPs. It's great that Splatoon came out this year, but Like, we have a Mario and Luigi game that is essentially just like all the other Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi games. Hyrule Warrior Legends, which is just, a port of the Wii U
I feel
game.
like Nintendo's not really in a place where they can afford to gamble with a bunch of new IPs right now. I feel like they're just
They're
trying to
not.
they're trying to hold steady for now, and then we'll see the next Pikmin, next generation. We'll see that, not Pikmin 4, I mean like the next like Pikmin style IP, or or a new Splatoon, something like that.
Yeah.
Generally we get one or two new IP from Nintendo every generation. So I mean it's not like this is unheard of. Um, but they are in a place where they sort of have to just tread water right now, and there's no question about that.
Yeah. And
They
it's stuff that
announced,
they already know how to make, so I think it's easy
like,
and
it's not like the games are bad, right? Like these
yeah,
aren't bad
they're
games
not
by any
bad
means.
games. They're still great games. It's just it's more of the same.
Like
So,
it's harder to get excited about.
but then again, what do I know? People buy Call of Duty every year.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I'm getting so sick of hearing it. By the way, I'm so tired of hearing it. The game launched. It's been 1 week actually today since we actually recorded our last episode. And it was just, man, I'm just tired of hearing, oh, Call of Duty. Oh, do you have the new Call of Duty? Yes, I have the new Call of Duty. I have 1 million copies. Come
Hey,
buy them.
Dr. Spiegel, I have a question
What?
for you.
Yeah, okay.
Uh, what system are you getting Call of Duty on?
I will be getting it on PC. Just kidding. I'm getting it on
Xbox
Xbox
One, of
360.
course. Come on.
Oh my gosh, the fanboyism is like out of control with these two consoles right now. Whenever I ask them like, oh, what system are you getting it on? Like 50% of the time I get PS4, duh, or Xbox
That's
One,
why I was
duh.
sort of setting you up
It's
for
like,
that, because I know you're really sort of irritated about.
well, it's pissing me off. It's like, look, why do you have to hate the other consoles? I mean, in my opinion, I have a legitimate reason to hate the PS4. It's because it has no games. But if you are a fan of an
Hey, it
Xbox
has
One,
Call of Duty, duh.
okay. If you're a fan of Xbox One, why in the world would you hate the PS4? It has all the same games. And honestly, the PS4 is a better console than the Xbox One. So I don't know. I don't understand where the hate comes from you people. What's wrong with you? Like, they're the same thing. They both have crazy install times. They both take an incredible amount of gigabytes to install a game. You can't play the games off the disc. They're both like incredibly underpowered for what they are.
They're
They
both
both have an
horrible systems.
incredible lack of exclusive games. It's like I don't care. I just don't care.
It makes me so sad that I there's like no reason that I should be able to play a game on a, not even when I got it, top end video card on my computer that's like running modern games that struggle to run at 30 frames per second on modern consoles. Like,
It's like, what's going on?
this console generation, it's so bad. Like, not only because everything is like, it's just underpowered. So the games don't look that
Nintendo's
much
not
better.
competitive. Nintendo's not even competitive, so it's not like we can fall back and say, well, at least Nintendo has like some interesting third-party games that you can't find anywhere else. They don't. They only have Nintendo games, which is fine. But the problem is I don't want to play any of these other games, so it's like I just have Nintendo, and I have like a couple of sprinklings of games here and there that I want to get, like Fallout 4 I want, Metal Gear I want for sure, and The Witcher I want. But it's like I have to wait for a lot of these games, and I'm going to invest in both systems eventually just because I feel like I have to. Because, I'm part of the industry now. I work in the gaming industry, so I have to be well-versed in this stuff. But it doesn't mean I have to like it. I say every day, like when people say, oh, you should talk to Shay, like he's the Nintendo guy. I'm like, I hate Nintendo. I hate them so much. I have to play their games because I'm addicted to it.
And speaking of
It's the same thing with these other consoles. I hate them, but I have to get them.
speaking of how awful these new systems are, I told you recently about the backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. I got Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and it's supposed, like, eventually they said, oh yeah, when Gears of War Judgment and Gears of War 3 are available through backwards compatibility, you're gonna be able to redeem them. And then I found out how they're actually gonna handle the redeeming, and it's like a slow rollout. So like, hey, you might get it right away, you might not get it until who knows when.
So you guys didn't see this, but when we were doing the E3 coverage on the ZBN, unfortunately the coverage with me and Piddle got botched. so we didn't have the Microsoft press conference up. But one of the big things was that when they announced backwards compatibility, we both said, "Oh man, this is going to be huge for them." And fast forward to 5 months later, it's completely botched. That look, have you seen the selection of games? It's a freaking joke. It's like they're not even trying.
Really bad selection.
I mean, what you have like Fable 2, you have Gears 2, Mass Effect 1, none of the Call of Duty games for whatever that's worth, which I don't really care, but it's like how can you not include some of these games? There's no BioShock.
I don't know if this is at a fault of Microsoft's or a fault of like publishers just not being willing to make their games backwards compatible.
But it's why they should have just done the backwards compatibility right out of the box. I mean, it's too late to go back now, but it pisses me off that was their decision. I'd rather have no backwards compatibility than the half-assed joke of backwards compatibility. This is offensive. I'm actually offended by it.
For example, I can see Activision thinking, well, we don't want to make Black Ops 2 backwards compatible because we want everybody to buy Black Ops 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. But again, that's just exactly why it should have been backwards compatible out of the box.
Out of the box.
Like, it wouldn't have been a problem. You wouldn't have all these hangers on. A guy came in yesterday, bought an $80 Xbox 360 just to play like some stupid game that, I don't know, it was like this $2 game that he picked up with it. And it's like, you wouldn't have this problem, you know, like
I think
if
like
Xbox
all
One,
the Halo games on the Xbox 360 are like $2. I was
they are.
I was walking through GameStop the other day. I was like, oh, how much would it cost me to get Halo Reach? Because that's not going to be, it's not a part of the Master Chief Collection.
It's like $10, right?
Yeah. I wanted to see how much it would be, and it was like $6. I was like,
Oh,
what?
wow.
What? $6?
Yeah.
It just blew me away that it was that cheap. That it was under $10 for a massive release.
Anyway, back to the Nintendo Direct.
Yes, back to the Nintendo Direct.
Hey, real quick. I think we're gonna forego our top 50 this week. Just we got plenty of time. I just wanted to do it before the end of the year. We got plenty more episodes to do this year, so let's give it a pass for this week, and we'll keep talking about this.
But I think we're only going to be doing our top 5 one episode at a time, so we might.
Are we gonna do that? I don't know.
We might.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. We'll make it work. But
so
no top 50
we'll try
this
to
week, guys.
run through the rest of the Nintendo Direct and our reactions real quick here. So next thing is Fire Emblem Fates, and it comes in.
I mean, so we talked about this. I'm not interested.
So it's 3 games. There's Fire Emblem
Birthright,
Conquest, and then Revelation.
Fire Emblem Resident Evil Revelations.
And it seems like they're all sort of the same game, just with alternative or like little tweaks, I'd imagine.
Kind of like the Pokemon games, right?
Yeah, kind of like the Pokemon games.
The difference is that they're all retailing together for $80.
If you want them all together.
Yes, which I mean, honestly, that's a fantastic price.
For $40.
If you're gonna buy just one of the games, I don't know, consider buying all 3 because you get them. It's like a $40 value. But I don't know. I'm not a really. I don't know. I'm not into Fire Emblem, man. It's just.
So like, the $80 price, just to be clear, it's not even. You're not even really saving money because it's $39.99 for just one of the 2 main games. Then you can download. After you buy one game, you can download the other version for only $20.
Yeah, but it's a download. You can't buy it. Got to have that physical version.
And then you can. I'm assuming you'll be able to download the final Revelation for $20 as well. So it's going to be $80 no matter what.
But it doesn't come with an art book, and it doesn't come with a physical version.
And if you want to get technical, it'll be $79.97 instead of $79.99. But that's just being me.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
It does when you eat at Taco Bell for like 50% of your meals.
I don't
pennies
know
add
that
up,
it's
man.
really worth $80 for all the games. I'll probably get it anyway because I love Fire Emblem Awakening. But I already know it's going to be a purchase I regret. It's just
is it a day one purchase for you, even though you say you regret it?
What? No, I'm saying I'm going to regret buying Fire Emblem Fates for $80.
Yeah, but is it a day one purchase for you? Like, are you pre-ordering this thing just to make sure you get the $80 one?
I will not pre-order it. I don't think.
Okay. Okay.
I'll probably try to find some sort of deal on it. It depends. If I can get like a $10 off pre-order, I probably will pre-order it.
So then they started talking about some other stuff we already knew about. They announced some Triforce Heroes DLC, which I don't care about because I don't have the game. You don't have the game either, do you?
No.
Okay, we'll play it. Someday we'll get it together. We'll play it, but not today. So as for that, I'm not interested. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Every time I see it, I'm like, I'm gonna get really interested in this, and I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna like it. But again, I failed to be interested because I don't care for the Etrian Odyssey type dungeon play. You know, I'm not into that.
There's then free to play game Nintendo Badge Arcade.
Whatever. Like, it's free to start, as Nintendo is fond of saying, because there are microtransactions, which is fine. Like, whatever they want to do. I'm okay with microtransactions if they're transparent about it. Like, if they're like, this game's going to have
microtransactions. They're extremely transparent about it in the game. Like, in the game, there is a pink bunny.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
That will describe to you exactly why it costs money to try to collect new stickers or whatever through
badges.
This arcade game.
Yeah.
Badges.
He's like, you see, it costs money to develop things. Like, there's a thing called money, kids, and people need money in order to develop games.
Yes.
And it's like, that's pretty funny. Like, I appreciate them being so upfront about it. I still don't like it, but it's like, whatever. I don't have to buy it, and I'm not going to buy it, so whatever.
Yeah. The 2 Dragon Quest games I think is pretty cool.
That's a really big thing for them, right? I mean, like,
I really want to play Dragon Quest 8 personally, so...
I don't know anything about the Dragon Quest franchise. I don't know how they made so many games, and I don't know anything about any of them. But I don't know. I'll look into it for sure. I want to know more before I get like all excited about a JRPG on 3DS.
Then there's another free to start game, Pokemon Picross.
Have you played any of the Picross games?
I have played the first Picross game, and it's pretty addicting. So.
Mario's Picross? Yeah, I love it. The one thing I do think I'm going to end up playing this a lot, the Pokemon version. It concerns me that it's free to start. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean there's a limited number of puzzles you can do for free? I hope not.
I think so.
I mean, also we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna download it because the free part, I'm gonna play that, and then we'll see where we go from there. But
they showed.
I want Picross 3D too, the one that came out in Japan. I thought it was coming to the United States, but they haven't talked about it.
Picross 3D is out in the United States.
No, Picross 3D 2.
Oh, 3D 2.
They announced one for 3DS.
I was not
It came
aware.
out in Japan, and it I don't know. I don't know if it's coming to the United States. I hope it does, because Picross 3D was really interesting.
Probably not, if it wasn't even announced yet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So more third-party stuff. Final Fantasy Explorers for the Nintendo 3DS.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, someone cares. I don't.
Mega Man Legacy Collection, which...
This one's interesting. It retails... The Mega Man Legacy Collection retails for like $50 on 3DS, but it comes with a gold Mega Man amiibo, which I'm sure is going to get some people to jump in. Not me. Because it's just Mega Man 1 through 6. I mean, like, I was hoping that they would do, like, you know, Mega Man X or one of, you know... It's like I already own all the Mega Man games on NES. I've never played them, but...
It would have been... I feel like it should have included Mega Man 7, 8, 9, and 10 as well, personally, and I don't understand why it wouldn't.
They felt like making money in other ways, I guess.
I think it's just cheaper, easier to just include 1 through 6 because they've already, they're just ROM dumps, essentially.
Yeah. I think they're all on 3DS, actually, the Mega Man games.
They showed a few Nindies, none of which really... that interesting to me.
I mean, Fast Racing Neo is the one that's been like super talked about in terms of an indie game because it looks like exactly like what F-Zero would be.
Yeah, it looks exactly like F-Zero.
The only difference is that I don't really care about F-Zero at all. So
and it's coming out on a Wii U and it's online.
So shoot me.
You know, F-Zero on the Wii U would actually, I feel like it would be sort of successful. Sort of.
I mean, you could do some interesting things with the gamepad. But the thing is, like, why would Nintendo make one now? They already have Fast Racing Neo to like fill that void. I'm sure that game's going to sell really well.
I think it will sell well for a Wii U virtual console title or eShop title.
Wait, is it coming to another system?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, there's some other games. Let's see. Lego Marvel Avengers, whatever. Project X Zone 2. I don't know anything about that.
It comes with some Nintendo characters.
Chrom and Lucina and Fiora from Xenoblade Chronicles.
And then Terraria for the Wii U.
Should I buy Terraria? It's on 3DS too, I think.
Personally, I do not care for Terraria at all. I have it, and it's not interesting to me. Maybe you'll enjoy it more.
I hear it's just like 2D Minecraft. So, incidentally, by the way, speaking of 2D Minecraft, there was a leak that came out the night before the Direct, saying that Peggy had rated Minecraft for Wii U. They rated it like 7+ or whatever. Nothing became of that, and everyone thought that was going to be like the big thing in the Direct, that Wii U was getting Minecraft, and they didn't mention a thing.
Wasn't mentioned at all.
Which is...
They just cut it out. They're like,
I find
it's
that
already
hilarious.
ruined.
They're like, oh man, it was spoiled, so now we can't even talk about it. It's freaking stupid, Nintendo.
I can see them doing that.
Should we talk about whether or not we feel like it's a big thing for Nintendo to get Minecraft?
I don't think it's a big thing anymore. I don't
either.
I think it's too little, too late. The Wii U, everybody's already looking forward to the NX. Like that's plain and clear. So
anyone who has Minecraft, anyone who likes Minecraft already has Minecraft. They're not going to buy it again. I mean, you might. I might.
Again, it felt like this whole Direct, they just try to say like, hey, there's this Wii U stuff, and Zelda's coming to the Wii U. And even before the Direct, when they announced the Direct, they were like, hey, Nintendo Direct on Thursday at 2 p.m. PST, but, just so you know, we're not going to talk about anything mobile or the NX.
Right. I saw that, and I was like, why would you feel like you need to say that?
Because they just, everybody's talking NX.
Yeah.
That's...
I mean, and the way they treated the Wii U in this Direct was like, here's all the games that are coming out right now. Devil's Third, Xenoblade Chronicles, all that. And that's fine. But look at 2016. What do you have?
I will say this.
What do you have?
At the very least, people want the NX. Like, they want it. People are talking about it. There's a lot of positive buzz about it. And that is way better than people just saying, you know what, Nintendo's going third party.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of positivity regarding the NX, and I think that's definitely a good thing. I think people realize that Nintendo is, like, incapable of screwing up twice in a row. Because it seems to be the case, doesn't it?
I think people just want Nintendo to succeed, and
they're a feel good company in an era that does not have very much feel goodery in it.
So what?
You know what I mean?
When you say the NX is going to have like leading industry chips and so on and so forth, people are excited because they're like, oh my gosh, Nintendo's actually finally listening to what we want.
Yeah, which is something they have not done for the past 10 years.
And speaking of listening to what the
Nintendo
fans
not
want.
listening, hold on. Let me do my segue first. Speaking of Nintendo not listening to what the fans want, Japan is getting Mother 3. America's getting Squat. So screw you, Nintendo of America. How dare you not bring that game to America? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of waiting for Mother 3. I want to play it legally.
The thing is, I think they could get the fan translation for free.
I know it's like they're so headstrong about it. Like, no, that's not faithful to the original. I don't give a crap. I just want to play Mother 3.
I was going to say,
want to play Mother 3. I know exactly what you're going to say.
In terms of giving the fans what they want, for a while back, Nintendo did ask what characters you wanted to see in Super Smash Brothers next.
And of course, everybody said, Shrek, Sora, Bayonetta, like all these obnoxious requests that are not going to happen. But there was one that didn't happen,
and I don't even understand it. Like, even now, I'm trying to fathom why it's happening. But Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, is there a single Final Fantasy VII port or otherwise on a Nintendo system?
So the funniest thing about this was that the way they revealed it was like, there's a new trailer. And it showed Final Fantasy VII, and everyone was like, "What? What the heck is going on?" And then it was like Cloud joins the battle, and everyone was like, "That was the biggest troll of all time." Right next to Animal Crossing at E3 this year.
It was a troll because you were just like, "Wait, what is this gonna be?" Because you just had no idea, and it just ends up being like a downloadable character. Which it's really cool that he's gonna be a downloadable character. But
he's just as out of place as Ryu. I mean, so like you can't say there's no precedent.
The way they introduced him was just ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. It was great.
It was such a troll.
I thought it was funny.
You would.
Yeah. No, it was great. Because I don't give a rip about Final Fantasy VII. But I think this spells one of two things. And I think they're both very positive things if they both come to fruition. And one is that Nintendo is obviously still receiving quite a bit of respect from even developers that don't develop on their platforms, which I think is a very important thing to have in the future. Them saying, look, Konami, we put Snake in our game. We didn't have to. We didn't have a Metal Gear game on Wii. We put Cloud in our game, Square. We didn't have to. You haven't developed a single game for our platforms. What if Final Fantasy VII is coming to NX? What if they have this like partnership deal with Square that's going to bring Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and all these legitimate games to NX? We all know that NX will be able to run them for sure.
Yeah.
I think that'd be huge.
Me too. I think it's a sign of things to come.
Do you think I'm nuts for that theory, or do you think I've got something there?
I don't think you're nuts. I still think it's unlikely because it's Nintendo. But it would be really nice to see.
I mean, they're going to get something, right? They're going to get something.
Something.
What other reason would they have to put Cloud in the game? It's not like they announced, Cloud won the fan ballot, so now we're going to put him in the game. Because I don't think they could do that. There has to be some like partnership going on behind the scenes here. And I still don't really know why Snake made it into Brawl. Because that never really came to anything.
No, it didn't.
But I don't know.
But
don't you love how Nintendo developers just have all this respect for these classic game characters? They're all in Smash Brothers now.
Yeah, like pretty much all the big names are in it now. What are they even missing now?
Halo. They're missing Halo.
That's not going to happen.
Master Chief in Smash Brothers.
Or
Classic joke.
Or some Sony exclusive characters, yeah.
Why can't Metroid
they
crawl?
Could end up with a Crash Bandicoot, couldn't they? Because Crash is owned by
Naughty Dog.
Activision now.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Naughty
Dude,
Dog.
Can you imagine Crash Bandicoot, the character who was supposed to kill Mario? Can you imagine him in a Smash Brothers game?
Well, so was Sonic.
Right, well, yeah. Oh, that's a good point. It's a good point.
All right, so
Smash Brothers is freaking nuts, dude.
We don't have much time left.
Let's just do 52-52. We had a great show today. Just close out strong.
52-52. I actually don't really have much to say this week.
That's the funniest thing of all is we have nothing.
I have a lot I want to say, but I don't want to say it until I actually beat The Witcher 3.
So I worked 40 plus hours technically this week. So I didn't get to play any games. I did finish The Walking Dead on Vita. So let me just run through my quick thoughts on that. The Walking Dead is a great game. Absolutely. You should play it. Just not on Vita. Don't play it on Vita. Unfortunately, I got suckered into playing it on Vita because I was like, I need more Vita games and I need stuff to play on the go because I'm on the go a lot now. So I bought it on Vita, and now I'm stuck with the Vita versions of the games. I bought The Walking Dead Season 2 just yesterday on Vita because I have to move my choices from the Vita version of the game, from the first game to the second game, but I can only do that on the same console. So I'm stuck on Vita, unfortunately. The game runs like crap. It's constantly loading
disappointment.
In the middle of action scenes, it's like constantly loading. The Vita is just not capable of handling a PS3 quality game. Like, as much as you want to say these games look great on Vita and they look like PS3 games, maybe they do, but they just don't run as well, unfortunately. But otherwise, The Walking Dead is a fantastic story game. It tells an amazing story where your choices, it seems like they really matter, at least to a small extent. Like there's at times there's like an illusion of choice, as there always is in games like that. But I think they did a great job. The voice cast was great. I loved almost all the characters. I thought they were all very interesting and complex in some cases. And it just presented a really interesting narrative, and I couldn't recommend it any higher on any other system other than Vita. So,
all right.
Actually, just as a quick final thought, I'm actually kind of torn. I would love to put this game in my top 50 for next year, but I haven't played the actual console versions of it, so I can't confirm that the games don't run like crap on the consoles. So I'm kind of stuck. I want to put it in my top 50 because it's that good.
Well, on Xbox One it runs fine. Clearly,
you played on Xbox One?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on the game that I didn't really touch on? Just want to bring up.
Not really.
Okay. But I give it a 4 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it. You still haven't finished it, obviously.
Yeah.
So I will let you get back to that as soon as you finish The Witcher.
Yeah, so The Witcher 3, what I will say about it is I've gotten really engrossed in it, and I've put a lot of time in it, a lot more time than I expected. And it reminds me of some of my favorite classic games in some ways, and I'll get into more of detail on that next week when hopefully I actually beat The Witcher 3. So the big thing for me was I sort of had a decision to make. Do I want to continue to enjoy The Witcher 3 at my own pace and really soak it in? Because right now it is, or sort of midway through this week, I felt like this game is definitely going into my top 50 and probably my top 20. Or do I want to just blast through it because I have 52 games to beat in 52 weeks?
Yeah.
So that was sort of my dilemma this week.
It's the rough aspect of it, man. We got to stop playing these RPGs. We can't play RPGs for 52. It doesn't work. We get so far behind.
I think this has to be the last one that I'm going to play, or if I play any other ones, I'm just going to use a guide and just plow through it really quick.
I've got to do Xenoblade Chronicles X later in the year, so I'm not looking forward to that. That's going to take so much time.
And the one thing I will say about The Witcher 3 is yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before, I hit that point, that wall that I always hit with open world games that I like really enjoy. And that's just that point where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just this. You do so many of the same things over, and it's a lot of like traveling from here to there, and it takes a long time. It's just playing an open world game is time consuming, plain and simple. And it's why I never really liked open world games, because I don't want to feel like I'm spending half of my time just going from point A to point B. I don't know if you feel the same way at all about that.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't play enough open world games to ever really get that feeling. I stay away from them for that reason. Like, I don't want to get burned out on open world games because that's all the industry is now.
Yeah,
so I have to get used to it.
So that was sort of the point that I hit a couple days ago or yesterday. I can't remember which day it was. And I had to put down the game. Like, I was just like, I can't play right now. I can't do it.
How close would you say you are to like finishing the main story?
I'm going to start hating it. So thankfully, like several hours later, I was able to pick it back up and get back into it. But I hit this moment where I was like, oh no, like this game might not go in my top 50 at all because I'm starting to get sick of it.
Oh man.
But it was just sort of an instance where I just needed to take a break from it. So
speaking of needing to take a break from us, everybody.
Yeah. No, never.
Oh, well, I mean, for the next 6 days. I don't know. Go back and watch old episodes. See how far we've come and how much better we are now. Right?
You know what?
We're better now,
I'd
right?
like to hear that. I hope we are.
I'm sure as hell not going to go back and listen to episode 1. Screw that.
Man.
I want no part of that. I don't want to. I haven't listened to a single ZBN podcast since I stopped kind of like being the host. Just because I don't want to like remember that stuff. I don't want to go back when we were updating, people on what's going on in the Zelda board on IGN. No good. No good.
No good at all. Man, I really sort of wanted to get into our top 50 games today and just run through everything, but we are already at an hour. We could still do it, and this could just be a warning to anybody.
No, we can't do it. There's no time. We spent way too much time today.
All right.
But you know what we should do? We should lead off the next show with it, just because, to make up for it.
Sounds good.
And next week, we have a very special treat for you. This is going to be really good. I like this. We came up with an idea where we are going to award the game of the year of many years to many games. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
We're just going to start from like 1985 onwards.
And we're going to give out a game of the year award to games that came out in those years.
Sorry,
Atari. We're gonna rewrite history. Operation Wolf is no longer going to be the game of the year in 1989. Sorry. I don't even know what that is. What's Operation Wolf?
Shooting game.
Probably. See, the industry never changes. It's always just shooters.
Asteroids.
Legend of Zelda. That's
Pong. You're just shooting.
You're just shooting a ping pong ball.
Shooting a ping pong from one end to the other.
What about going back even further? What about like the original pinball machines? You're just shooting a ball. That's all it is. It's just so one-dimensional, man. I hate video games.
All about shooting. All right, so I think that's it. We are done for today.
Yeah.
And come back next week. Like, comment, subscribe.
For the retroactive Game of the Year awards.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
All right.
I don't know. Are we going to get to like every game every year next week? Probably not.
No. We'll go from 85 to 95.
Okay, that's a good chunk.
That's your teaser.
Sure.
1985 to 1995. So that we end with 2015.
That'll work.
All right. So, everybody, for Dr. Spiegel, I'm Dr. Piddle. Thank you
got
for
promoted
listening
again.
to Effortless. And like, comment, subscribe again. And, really comment. We love to talk to you guys.
Dude, you guys don't leave enough comments. I love responding to you
Spiegel.
guys. Yeah. You should get on there, too.
He does a better job of it than I do.
We say this every week. You need to get on there, but you're on there sometimes. So
yeah, I've been better about it lately. So, see you guys next week.
Let's go out on the town.